Hello, you incredible friends. This is your pal, Edwards here and Steph Gobraiel. How are you tonight, Steph?
I'm good. How are you, Ed?
Oh, good. I got to tell you what, I'm loving StreamYard on mobile. I thought I'd really push it to the limit and actually walk down the street and live stream with you at the same time. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I thought I'd do it anyway. What do you think, Steph?
I guess we'll find out, won't we, Ed?
We will find out. Now, Steph, before we get into it, we're going to talk about resilience tonight. It's a very good topic that you and I both looked at, resilience. Now, you have a bit of an announcement to make, don't you? What's happening in the world of Steph Gobraiel?
I do. So I can officially say my membership is now open, Ed. I'm so excited about it. And it is an accountability, goal setting, productivity, and, community. And really emphasize on the community because we can't have enough of those when we're in business. So very excited.
Oh my God. So tell us a bit more about it. So if I join this program, what do I get and how does it benefit Awesome Me?
Sure. So there are free resources. There is access to me in a one-to-one capacity, and you're building other connections in the community. So you'll have a community behind you, supporting you, and cheering you on alongside me.
Oh, incredible, Steph. We love your work. You've just come in. Smash that like, share, and comment. It's great to have you with us. This is Edwards here and Steph Gobraiel live streaming, and I'm using StreamYard Mobile, which I'm very excited about. And it's all happening. You can see the whole dynamic world behind me. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it is a funny idea, that's for sure. Now, Steph, we're going to talk about resilience today. And
Sure.
believe me, I've had many moments in the past year or two that has really pushed me to test even my own resilience. Oh my God, as I speak of resilience, I lose Steph. Are you there, Steph?
I am here, yes.
Okay. But I was just going to say, I've had many moments in the past year that has really tested my resilience, right? Many moments, even recently. And I find every time I get my resilience button pushed, I become more resilient. I want to ask you about that, Steph. Resilience. Tell us your experiences in that one. I know you've had heaps of bad things done to you this year and last year. What does resilience mean to you? And tell us your story, Steph.
I think it's how we bounce back, right, Ed? I mean,
Yes.
I think everything that happens to us, the best way to take it is as a lesson, right? Like the universe is trying to teach us something. And, I think the way we handle that and, once the dust settles and we can see, once we can see, the logic and the emotion has settled, then it's a very good lesson to take on board. But, initially it might be hard to see, what the lesson is meant to be because, we're emotionally fueled or we are emotionally fueled in one way or another. So I think it's really important just to let the dust settle and then really eventually you'll see what the lesson is. So, and it makes us stronger, right, Ed? What doesn't kill us makes us stronger at the end of the day.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, actually. I think, it's, I've always had many things that have really tested me and pushed my buttons over the past, easily over the past year or two, especially. And I find as well, as your business gets bigger, more things happen. There's more moving parts. It actually builds your resilience because I thought, when my business is really small, I thought, man, I need to become so resilient. Not true. Now the business is bigger. I need to increase my resilience to keep up. What's your experiences there?
Yeah, absolutely. You do. It almost, it's almost like the universe is sometimes trying to tell you something, even if you ignore it, right? We were just talking about this, Ed. And I think listening, and having that awareness around yourself and what you're doing can really play a vital role in the way you handle situations and the way you handle it afterwards.
Yeah, I think incredible. And I think it's actually what kills a lot of business owners. I think what happens is they get a big knock and it just totally takes them out. I think that happens a lot. Because I've seen a lot of really good people, right? Really smart, intellectual people that know what they're doing. And all that happens is something really, really bad happens, and then they just lose the whole mojo, and then one day they shut their businesses down. I've seen it happen a lot, and I know that we've seen it happen lately to some people that we know, right? I think that's when people are really throwing everything out, because we all have bad days in business. But I think it's the tough ones that keep going and solve problems. And I think it's sad. I've seen a lot of I've seen some people that I'm glad that are out of business, but mostly they're people I don't want to see out of business, just give up. Tell us more about that.
And we don't know what's happening behind closed doors, Ed,
Mm,
right? So what people might say might not be the whole story sometimes. So,
mm,
we've got to take everything with a grain of salt.
mm,
But, it has been tough. It has been tough
mm,
economically, for a lot of families, a lot of, business owners and the rest of
mm,
it. So, it sometimes has to make you reevaluate what is the best way forward,
mm,
because it also costs money to run a business. No matter
mm,
how clever and savvy and the rest of it you are,
mm,
the reality is it does cost money to run a business.
mm. Yeah, and you got to have enough money coming in just to cover your base expenses and move forward. So, and I think
So,
that's it. It's funny, you know, again, not naming any names, but we've seen recent people that we both know go out of business. And interestingly, before they went out of business, you and I were already suspicious about them. You and I were already saying, hang on, this doesn't make sense. Hang on, these decisions they're making doesn't make any sense at all. I suppose that my key point is there's going to be people watching this live stream who are doing it tough right now. And my message to those wonderful people is this: you need to mix up things and change. What's your message to these people who are doing it tough right now? Amazing, Steph.
absolutely. Don't think that, one potential income stream is the end all and
Mm,
be all. I think diversify as much as you
yeah.
can. And that's the reason why I'm starting a membership, because in my business previously, it's all one on one.
Yeah.
And, you know, the landscape keeps changing. So one on one isn't feasible for everyone, but
Yeah.
having a membership could potentially be more, feasible for some people. So that will give them access to me. I'm also doing digital
Mm,
products, because that's another way of, just getting a taste tester of, what it would be like, or, a
mm,
glimpse of who I am and what I can potentially help you do, which is
mm.
also released tonight, Ed. It's a
Oh,
productivity planning
oh,
workbook. Look, it's all
oh,
happening.
oh, it's Steph's kitchen. There's nothing but different foods coming out. There's tomato sauce everywhere, meatballs on the floor, spaghetti on the ceiling. That's all happening. There you go.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I
you know
like
what?
it.
When it rains, it pours, Ed. And I think that's what all business owners need to remember. When the hard
Yeah.
times hit, it rains. It pours. It doesn't rain. And it's the
Yeah.
same with the good times,
Yeah.
when it rains, it pours. There's
Yeah.
nothing in, what's the word? You know, there's nothing in moderation, because it doesn't
Yeah.
work that way, So we need to remember that and keep our head above water in order
Yeah.
to try keep breathing and, just get through the tough times.
Yeah, so I had a funny experience that mildly tested my resilience over the past few days. So I had I've got about 5 leads at the moment, right? 5 hot leads, and 4 of them all at once said, "I'm not ready to work with you," and delayed me into the future. I've never had that many leads say hello, say no to me at once, right? It wasn't so much no, I won't work with you, just no, not now. But then interestingly, I just kept at it, and the 5th one then turned around and signed up. And I find that absolutely fascinating. I find when it comes to sales, especially, you got to keep doing the numbers, because sometimes it's, in sales, you have a really bad run where everyone just says no to you, right? Really bad run, right? And then all of a sudden people start saying yes to you. And it's like, oh my God, I'm back in the game and that sort of thing. You've had many experiences like that, haven't you? I know I certainly have, where you're sort of in a way mentally banking on this business coming in, or they even tell you to face, oh yeah, I'm gonna hire you and give you all this money. And then they just cancel it last minute for whatever reasons. Tell us about that, because I've certainly been shafted this way. And I know you've been shafted this way too.
I have, Ed, and it's a valuable lesson that, you can't take people's, how do you say this without,
Yeah.
you know,
There you go. It is what it is. I know what you're going to say. You need to say it because it's true.
and by the way, everyone listening and watching out there, this came from Ed's mouth. Until
Oh,
the
yeah.
money is in your bank account,
Yeah.
okay,
Cool.
it's all just talk, right?
Yeah,
I'm
it
trying
is.
to keep this, civilized.
Yeah. For
But it
live
is.
stream.
I've,
Yeah.
I've had heaps of those experiences, even recently, where someone's like, "Yep, I want to work with you from this date, and we're going to
Yeah.
get started and we're going to go. And I'm like, right,
Yeah.
you know, which direction do you want to take? Let's plan that from now so we can hit the ground running. And then they turned around and said, I don't think I can work with you at this point in time, Steph. And what can you say?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And it's a big blow because you think, okay, they're telling you a date, they're committing to you, and what more could you expect from someone?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think that's it. And I think you need to have enough business coming through. This is the important thing. You need to
yeah,
have enough business coming through that if a bunch of people stay no, this is a big thing. You got to have enough leads going on that if a bunch of people say no to you, you've still got enough business coming through. Because I find if you're just banking on that one sale to come through and they say no, that can be the end of your world. If you're like me, if you've got 5 different sales going on and 4 say no, at least 1 got through. So at least I can point at some sort of success. So I think that's it. I think it's very important that people do that. People BS, they quite often, they just, I mean, sometimes circumstances change, but I think sometimes people just genuinely BS. They sit there and tell a big story, and when crunch time comes, they just sort of back out of it.
yep. And look, everyone's got a choice to make. I just
Mm.
think that, I think if you're going to walk the walk, you need to, if you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk.
Yes.
Otherwise the next time you come up to me and say, Steph, I want to work with you, I'm not going to believe it, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like the boy who cried wolf, right? Like
Yeah.
you're not going to believe it anymore. You've heard it enough. And it's true what you said, Ed. Building that pipeline is so important
Yeah.
in business. It really is. So
Yeah.
even if that 1 or 2 people, I had 2 people in one go say they want to work with me and then they backed
Yeah, I had
out.
4. So I decided to beat you because you were saying to me, and I had 2 people say no to me. Well, I've got 4 that said no to me at once.
Yeah, but you got 1 out of 5, so that's
I
still a
did.
win. Yeah,
I did.
there's a win.
And to me, the funny thing is, from a resilience point of view, when I'm copping all those no's, I'm still making my calls. That's the key thing, because even I was a bit deflated this weekend when I copped all these no's, but then I got this nice, awesome yes, right? And to me, that's a big thing. I suppose this is a big, I know you're really good at this too, Steph, and it's a big thing I'm saying to viewers. And by the way, if you just come in, smash that like, share, comment, say hello, because we love you. I think it's a key thing is that when you're taking knocks, you need to really keep at it. And it's interesting, that friend of ours, right, and I'll say friend with inverted commas, whose business recently wound up, we saw warning signs in their business for a long time. We were talking about it quite often. And interestingly, the person wasn't listening to our feedback. You know what I mean? Even you were seeing warning signs in their business and they just told you to go beat it. And it looks like they did beat it by shutting down their business. They really told you to beat it, right?
Yes.
Why didn't people listen to you? Because now, obviously, I'm keeping this general because you made some really, really good points. Like, was this person stupid? Was it head in the stand? Did they just hate you because you're female? What was the reasoning?
I don't know, to be honest, Ed. Sometimes people like to think they know best,
Yeah.
and you can't, you can't argue with that because at the end of the day, it's their business, right? It's not
Yeah.
yours. So you have to respect that. But we did see red flags.
Yeah.
And now in hindsight, it sort of makes sense. Like when you put those pieces together, it's like, okay. And
Yeah.
you're right, we did talk about them and we did, it's just, I guess one of those things. I mean, it's really, as a human being and as an adult, Ed, right? And this is something I'm trying to teach my daughter at the moment. There are consequences to your actions. Okay? And I think that, by not listening to someone, that's an action you're taking. And it could be feeding off this domino effect in like the actions you're not taking. Does that make sense? So
Totally.
I think, it's each to their own. You can't make someone do something they don't want to do, even though your feedback is right.
Yeah. And we got a great comment from Cheryl with say, I think small wins are important. I agree with you actually, because I find if you're losing lots, even the smallest win can be very important to one's motivation, because I've had times where I've lost heaps in business and I love it when you get a small win and it kind of gets you back in the game, doesn't it? Amazing, Steph.
Absolutely. And that's something I always tell, my clients or potential clients is record your wins, because when you look back and see how many wins you've had, it equals up to a lot more than you can actually remember. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Wins are so important, no matter how big
Yeah.
or small they are.
And we got a great comment from Felisa Moffat. Felisa Moffat, we all love you. You are aware of that. And see you Friday too, Felisa, in Brisbane. Yes, I hear you, Steph Gobraiel and Edwards here. And we love you, Felisa Moffat. In fact, isn't Felisa Moffat... Actually, you haven't met Felisa Moffat yet, but she's totally awesome. I'm sure. I can't wait till you guys meet up one day.
Well, she said she wants to come to the Sydney one, so I'd love to see her there.
She did. There we go. So, yeah, it's been a good one. So, Steph, I just want to say a big thank you. We've had a great live stream together. This has been the Edward Walk and Talk edition, because I thought, hang on, I usually pace around when I talk to people on the phone. So let's do a live stream like that and see what happens. Oh, and Felisa said she's going to come down. So Felisa's coming to Sydney. Well, Felisa, we can't wait to see you. We can't wait to see you from Gold Coast, Brisbane, down under in Sydney, which is all good. So there you go. And also, too, a great comment from Cheryl. You are right, Stephanie. The progress tracking helps you feel like you're moving and growing. Isn't that true, Steph?
Oh, absolutely. Because we can't remember it all, right? Like
No.
there's so much that happens. And then when you're trying to look back and think, what was the actual win? It's like there's just too much that's happened. But if you're writing it down or you're tracking it, and that's actually part of my membership, Ed, that's something I've created so people can keep putting those wins on the board, because that's going to motivate you. That's going to keep you going. And that's going to make you go, oh my goodness, I've actually achieved a lot and I'm just being really hard on myself right now. So it's that great reminder that, you're working at it, even though it might not be the exact win that you want, you've had other wins, and that's got to count for something.
Oh, my God, Steph, well said. Now, Steph, we're coming towards the end. We've crossed the 15-minute mark. Can we please get your closing thoughts from you and tell us how people can get into contact with you, Steph?
Sure. If something bad happens, it happens to all of us on a daily basis. So don't give up, keep going, learn the lessons, look for the red flags, and really listen to your instincts, because at the end of the day, your instincts know best. So that's really my closing thoughts, Ed, on that one.
And a great share from John Quinn. Great live stream. Thank you, John Quinn. Totally resonates with me when securing work. It's not a sale until money in the bank. Absolutely. Because, we've all been BS'd a lot. I got BS the other day. 4 times, actually. I got 4 rounds of BS. But then the 5th person was awesomely telling the truth, which I was really happy about. Incredible.
And that's what happens sometimes, Ed. Maybe it's not BS. Maybe they do want to work with you, but it's not right now. But I think, as John said, until the money's in the bank, there's no commitment. And you got to just take, as you said, everything with a grain of salt, right? You've got to be a little bit skeptical.
Yeah, so my advice to everyone is buy some salt, or go to your kitchen and get some salt and have a grain of it ready. And whenever someone promises you something, just eat a few grains of salt and just remember, just sprinkle a grain of salt onto you. So whenever it says, oh, I'm going to work with you and give you all this money, just get some salt, put it on your tongue, and just think about that.
That is so funny. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I'm going to go straight to my kitchen, get the sacks of salt, and just start chugging it like I've been poisoned or something. So there you go.
I will do that one day, Ed, and I'll take a photo and send it to you.
No, I should live stream it. I should live stream myself chugging. It's iodized, so it's good salt for you. So yeah, I should definitely live stream myself chugging some salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be Steph Gobraiel and Edwards here chugging iodized sacks of salt. So that'll be good. I'll probably get a lot of views, actually. Probably bring in a sack of leads and stuff.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't do like I should use like a proper Sean Tucker grade. The pink Himalayan salt that comes from the natural glaciers with like Eskimos and polar bears, and it's like spiritual. You know what I mean? It's like the spiritual salt. Yeah, it's all spiritual.
It could be cleansing, right, Ed? Because if you got someone trying to build this thing up in your head and then they're just going to back out, it could be spiritually cleansing. So you never know.
Yeah, so it's going to be spiritually cleansing salt too. So it clears your spirituality and your consciousness too, which is good. And just a few comments. We've got Cheryl. Cheryl says, thanks, guys. Well, thank you, Cheryl. We love you.
Cheryl.
And Felisa Moffat, we love you, Felisa. She's come and said, I can't believe I catch you guys late. Have a good evening, everyone. And there you go. Steph, thank you so much. And thank you to all our viewers. Like, share, and comment. Steph, we appreciate you so much. And thank you for a wonderful evening.
You too. Have a great one. See you, everyone.
Love your work all.